drug dealers at the highest level, drug lords, people from mental institutions. That's an invasion. They invaded our country. So this isn't, in that sense, this is war.
If the administration is allowed to use wartime authorities anytime it wants to remove people, I think we are going to see more and more people being subjected to this type of Alien Enemies Act.
President, did the administration actually, speaking of orders, violate Judge Boasberg's order in sending back the Venezuelan gang members and not bringing them back?
I don't know. You have to speak to the lawyers about that.
Are you planning to do more deportations?
I can tell you this: these were bad people. That was a bad group of, as I say, hombres. That was a bad group. When you look at them and you look at the crimes that they've committed, you take a look. You don't get any tougher. You don't get worse than that. You understand that. So. But you'd have to ask the lawyers, yeah.
Sir, there's been some criticism that the Alien Enemies Act has only been invoked 3 other times. They were all during times of war. Do you feel that you're using it appropriately right now?
Well, this is a time of war because Biden allowed millions of people, many of them criminals, many of them at the highest level. They emptied jails out. Other nations emptied their jails into the United States. That's an invasion. And these are criminals, many, many criminals, murderers, drug dealers at the highest level, drug lords, people from mental institutions. That's an invasion. They invaded our country. So this isn't, in that sense, this is war.
So the Alien Enemies Act was enacted in 1798, and it's a wartime authority that can only be used when the United States is in a declared war with another nation or another nation is invading our country. It cannot be used against simply a gang. And notably, it's only been used 3 times in our country's history, all during declared wars: the War of 1812, World War I, and World War II. We are aware of no authority for applying it to a regular gang, even if the gang has infiltrated to some extent another nation's government. If this is not a foreign government, then it cannot be used. Yeah, so I think there's 2 parts to what's going on. The first is, even if any of the individuals are members of the gang, the law cannot be used for straight immigration purposes because the TDA is not a foreign government or nation. But beyond that, even if it were legal to invoke the Alien Enemies Act, these individuals must be given an opportunity to show that they are not members of the gang. And what we understand is that many of the people, including our named plaintiffs, are not members of the gang. So for that reason alone, this is illegal. We asked the court to immediately issue a temporary restraining order stopping all removals. We do not know whether the removals that are being posted took place before the court's order or after, and we've asked the government to clarify. But if they took place after the court's order, then they would have violated the court's direction. The videos, though, do make clear that there is absolutely irreparable harm to these individuals, and that the court was absolutely correct to move quickly to restrain any further removals. If anybody was turned over to a foreign government after the court's order, then we would hope that the United States government would work with that foreign government to get the individuals back. Whether the court went beyond that and issued sanctions or contempt orders will be up to the court. Fundamentally, what's going on is a separation of powers problem. The Alien Enemies Act lays out very, very specific criteria for when it can be used. The Trump administration has ignored that by applying it to a gang rather than a foreign government or nation. And on top of that, the administration is ignoring the immigration laws that Congress has passed that ensure that people can have a right to seek protection against persecution or torture. So at bottom, we have the administration thumbing their nose at Congress.